Hello.
Opa.
Решил some focus.
What do you
Sorry,
mean?
we're still checking the setup.
Mhm. Mhm. Hopefully you can hear us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 8th AI Talk session, where we will continue with the AI Adoption Framework series. As we said, the summer is already here, but the AI is keep accelerating with even faster pace. So we can't, let's say, afford vacation, at least for these events. But you may expect that this would be our most probably last event together, and the next one will be like remote. So, in the first two sessions, we discussed about the importance uh, of the leadership alignment and establishing the AI COE. So today we'll be focusing on once we have in the AI COE to how to build our AI adoption strategy. But before that, as usual, we'll start with the updates. And this time the updates would be much shorter because we don't have larger events like last time. Last time we had, on our previous session last month, we had like three major events. So we had events from Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google. So this time we have huge update, by the way, but it is we'll spend less time on this.
Yeah. I suggest we start recording. And
Super. So let's start with the updates. The main updates, definitely Quad 3.5 Sonnet, which is as you if you're aware with the Anthropic family, this is not their how to say bigger, most powerful SKU, if I can say that way. So, but still, the results from Sonnet are really impressive. You may already hear about the feedback from the entire AI community that the model is extremely fast. It's very accurate. It's very good at coding tasks. It's really. We think that right now we have a new leader. And the best thing is that I think it's 5 times cheaper than Opus, if I'm not mistaken. And it's as you said this morning when we discussed, it's cheaper than GPT-4. So well done, Anthropic.
yeah, I don't think anybody will be using Opus not now.
Yeah, it's the same like GPT-4.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, indeed, it's much slower, and its Opus was really expensive. I think this was the main challenge for Anthropic to uh, uh, to create a model which is affordable for developers. And Opus was fast enough, if I would say, but it was really expensive. And right now with Sonnet, you receive extremely good value for the money. Right now, it's just the best model on the market.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that this gives an advantage to companies like AWS who don't
Yep.
do their model. They don't have a good catalog of models, but Sonnet is sort of a best-in-class model that they can offer customers right away.
Yeah, I
So
think it's GA, right?
it's GA. Yeah.
They've been
I mean, it's available in the portal, and I think they have enough capacity to run it. And what we're saying with the newer models, they've been well optimized, so it takes less infrastructure to rollout, I guess,
Mm.
and compared to the previous models. So they have enough capacity to serve more clients, and you'll be able to use them right away. So a year ago it was much different. You know, everybody
Yeah.
was trying to get their hands on GPT-4. It was allowed only to a few customers, and now a year after, we are seeing how more affordable and accessible these kind of best-in-class models are.
And the other good thing is that when Opus came out, actually it was not available for the EU
Yeah.
citizens. So we had to do a lot of tricks and etc. stuff in order to be able to use it. And right now, Sonet is directly available, and also I just heard that you can use it for free.
Yeah, I mean, in the quote portal, you can
Try it for
drive.
free.
I don't know how many requests they're allowing per whatever time frame, but I've tested it out yesterday. It works great. So yeah, OpenAI really has some good opposition now.
Yeah,
And,
the competition is always good for us. So of course we can expect now, let's say faster response from OpenAI, and hopefully this cycle will continue. I guess Google also may jump in this, but really happy to have the opportunity to use this kind of quality of the LLM. Really set the bar on another level for how to say really short amount of time. I'm not sure how much time was since the Opus came out, because Opus, as we discussed on our previous session, is it was my favorite model. Even I've been using it more than GPT-4o, but I think it's about 3 months or something period, 2 or 3 months between Opus and Sonnet, something like this. And this is huge improvement, especially combining all the stuff like price reduction, the speed. If you can find in the internet some comparison between the quality, the speed, and the price for the past year and a half, and the results are really amazing.
I think one of the things we need to mention is that Anthropic has a lot less kind of audience and usage, so maybe that's why they're able to serve these models directly. They'll be giving out for free. Where you have to, if you compare this with OpenAI, they serve much broader audience. A lot more people are using their services, so it's much harder to actually provide that at that scale. So it's not a super fair comparison between the companies, but I think it as Anthropic gains more popularity and it takes some of the shares from OpenAI, we'll see how they're gonna deal with the traffic and all of the issues that OpenAI has been seeing in the last year.
Yep, but also it's important to mention that they're Anthropic have very good balance between content safety, model sentient, if I can say that way, but they were leading in that direction. So both it could be also, of course, it's connected with the audience, because OpenAI have a much bigger audience, but still this could change, because as this is served as from AWS Bedrock, as you know, AWS is covering a lot of the large organizations, so this is definitely the gate for them. At the same time, OpenAI jumped into Apple devices, so this was announced this year. One of the, I would say, major announcement. Finally, Apple put AI word in their official announcement. So OpenAI would be part of the Apple devices. We don't know much information of how this, what will happen with your data. There's a lot of speculation that this would be built in the OS. it would be really hard to keep your data private. However, we know that Apple is, I would say, are good in that direction. You have good control of what application can use what kind of services from your devices. So let's see, but definitely this is very good move from both Apple and OpenAI. So at the end, it sounds like they have not different priorities, but actually OpenAI already already covered this path. They already been on the place where Claude are, and they're focusing on the next step to be able to really scale on. I mean, what better scale than putting yourself in the Apple device? This is really the absolutely the best gateway, and also from Apple perspective, it's very good move because
I think their announcements pointed out that they're going to be using local inference on the devices themselves, and they're going to be using some of the shared. They called it private compute in the cloud connected to AI. One of the kind of the executive staff. I listened to an interview. One of their executive staff members was explaining how they've spent a year just to create a very isolated environment. So all these requests will be really private. Nothing will leak out. I mean, similarly how they deal with their keys on their devices. Technically, nobody has access. Even them have access to.
Apart from NSA.
Theoretically.
Very theoretical.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
It's a long discussion about Apple and how they approach this problem, but I'm more inclined to say that they are actually doing a good job when it comes to privacy, because at least they are making some efforts, on their platform. But
you have the full control. Sometimes it's even really hard to get something working because you have to allow the specific application to do specific stuff. But this is
we are outsiders, so we only can do we trust what they say? We don't. It's really up to the person's judgment to say. But overall, they like we discussed, it's something they're gonna be putting more emphasis on it. They rebranded the AI, called it Apple Intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. Really an Apple move. But we'll see. iOS in general, iPads, macOS are in need to have a real assistant, and now they have the tools, and OpenAI will give them a great model to kind of implement this on both on the device and server level. So us as Apple users, we welcome to see that change.
Yep.
Siri has been really useless for us, to be honest. So
Siri, I guess this is because we have more Alexas, and we are using more Alexa. By the way, yesterday I was wondering why AWS are wasted so. I mean, they really wasted this extreme advantage, if I can say that, competitive advantage of having these Alexa devices in almost every home, and being able to use this data to create really state-of-the-art model.
I think
I don't know how they missed this opportunity. This was really. I was looking yesterday exactly on this discussion about the privacy. I was looking on my Alexa blinking at the night, and I thought, these guys are hearing everything that we are talking about, and they didn't do anything with that. But so moving forward, the race, of course, is not stopping of bringing more and more hardware. So we know that there is no limitation. There's still some speculation on the internet field that we are hitting the limits, but looking at the top guys which continues to buy video cards, and to the Nvidia stock, which continue to get new and new heights. And by the way, now the biggest company in the world based on market capitalization. The thing is that which we just noticed this month is actually that Dell will build XAI data centers. So it would be Dell hardwares, and will be it's nice collaboration between the two. So it looks like that they are using. They decided to not spending time on the.
Give me a second.
Not spending time on developing their own chassis, tracks, etc. But leverage to the industry standards. Even that Tesla will have already some own chips, and we know that Tesla and XAI are sharing the hardware. As we know that some of the video cards which were planned to be for Tesla, they will be moved for XAI because of places, whatever. One really nice news for us also this month was the Tiny Corp, the organization created by George Klotz. So this is the guy who is behind Coma AI. Actually, Coma AI is, I would say, the biggest competitor to FSD, of Tesla FSD, and you can use it on almost majority of the regular cars. And actually, he was the one who was responsible for the jailbreak of iPhones, right?
Yeah, iPhones, PlayStations.
Yeah.
He's
So,
a
very
real
smart.
geek.
Yeah, he's a real geek. We are really a big fans of him. And he released his latest project finally. So it's called TinyGrad, and actually there are two boxes. It's called Tiny Box, where you receive a box which you can run at home, and you can run at home pretty large model. So the boxes can be with 6 Nvidia or 6 AMD cards. And I think yesterday he just shipped the first two, one AMD and one Nvidia.
Okay.
We really like this approach. Happy to see some competition even on the open source, let's say, community, and more and more opportunity to run your models at home, and make sure that you have the full control of the privacy.
We are big fans of running local models.
Yep. So and also this is definitely, as we will see in the next session, this is important stuff to consider for each large enterprise, especially talking for sensitive data, patents, etc. Stuff. So really happy that you can have this. This is really for, I would say, for home users. It could be used, of course, for small businesses, but you can have this box running at your home. It's not like server box where you can't hear anything. It's the consumption is nice. You have pretty nice display showing you when you even train models on this. So each of the box is tested with training of some model, and very nice.
And it's relatively inexpensive for what you get, because there's a lot of work put into creating the hardware, testing it out,
and software. And keep in mind that actually the most important thing for this guy and the entire initiative is that they've done better job than AMD. So really shame for AMD for not working with them on the driver side. They asked AMD to help them, to provide them. Actually, they asked just to provide them the source code of the drivers or something like this. They
didn't incorporate yet.
They didn't incorporate. They politely say no. And this is a pity, but at the end they provide also AMD and Nvidia devices. Of course, the price is the price difference is pretty steep, but yeah, it's you can decide what's to go. New large language model from NVIDIA. It's Nemotron 4, 340 billion parameters. The model is very good for creating synthetic data. We weren't able to try it yet because unfortunately we don't have this amount of power. We saw a lot of people start, how to say, combine four Mac Studio Ultras, connecting them in order to be able to accommodate such a large models like 300-400 billion parameters, and yeah, it's this really means that we can't wait for Apple to release their M4 Ultra with 512 gigabytes. This our expectation is that this would be really hot product, even that it is on the higher end. It would be like the crypto times where you have all the most expensive cars not available because everybody wants only them, and you have plenty of the other options. So it's we really can't wait. Definitely, this would be one of the first thing to buy already. Agree, but yeah, waiting.
It's gonna be super expensive, I suspect.
I guess it. I can guess that it could be like 15K.
More like 20, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But that's 512 gigabytes of
you really
of
can
GPU.
everything. I mean, this is very nice, very nice. Yeah, let's see. This again, we went too much in the speculations.
Yeah.
So yeah, but because even with this tiny box, you have 6 video cards inside, and with the current memory size, they're not enough to run. Actually, you can run this model quantized at I think at 4-bit, 3 or
I don't know.
or 4-bit you should be able to run. But yeah, anyway.
And maybe it's worth saying why this is important in the first place, because being able to create synthetic data on your own without having to ask for it or download it or use it specifically for custom training of models, that's going to be invaluable because we don't have enough data to kind of ingest anymore to make the models better. So creating synthetic data on your own terms privately would be something that would be very valuable going forward, especially if you're going to be creating models. Now, is everybody going to be creating their own custom models? No, obviously not. But the people who do that will probably get a very big advantage in some use cases. So that's why this is a big deal, being able to have that type of model being run on your machines.
Yep, we absolutely run out of data. We don't have actually everything that is on the internet is already part of the models. You can confirm that by asking the models, and they know even the, let's say, Bulgarian laws, which is absolutely the synthetic data is definitely something which can continue to improve the quality and output at the end, the outcome for our interaction with AI. So I think the last update which worth mentioning, at least based on our point of view, is finally we had Ilya outside, and he just dropped a tweet where he mentioned that he's starting his new company.
Maybe people don't know who Ilya is.
If you don't know who is Ilya, you have room for improvement. You should jump in a little bit deeper in the AI field. But Ilya is one of the co-founders of OpenAI. He's actually one of the really top guys in the AI field. let's say, top three.
Especially when it comes to AI alignment and building super intelligence.
Yeah, he's absolute geek and yeah, definitely one of the really top guys of the OpenAI. He left the OpenAI because of these challenges that they had. He didn't agree with the direction that they're going, and that's why his new company, I think it's focused mainly on the building AGI, SI, which is aligned with our humans, which is safe, etc. His beliefs are a little bit, this is separate discussion. Hopefully, we'll have some nice guests to cover in the future between how the open source versus closed source. But yeah, and he is willing to grab the top talents. He mentioned in the tweet that everybody can apply to join this company. So we're sure that he'll have whatever amount of money he would like to run it, because everybody would invest in him, I would say. So let's see how the things are going. The important conclusion to mention is that there are some statistics showing actually the investments based on countries in the R&D in AI. And unfortunately, we at EU are in very bad position. The United States are investing much more, but it looks like that China is all in the AI, and they're putting almost, yeah, you can see some graphics where they're putting this as a top priority, it looks like. So there's some discussions that open source models are just giving China some advantage, but at the same time, it's when something is controlled by one entity, it's we're not sure what is the intention, but yeah, interesting times. Definitely, once we finish the AI adoption framework series, it would be great to jump in such a discussion. Please let us know in the comments if you'd like, or if you would like to suggest any guests in that direction. We will be more than happy to discuss in this. Okay.
There's always something happening in the news.
Yeah.
We were not able to cover everything, but this was kind of the more important things that we noticed.
Yeah. So yeah, it's we'll try to move with the same pace of events during the summer. We'll see if I guess for the next month we'll have some response from the actually OpenAI. But now it's time to move forward with the AI adoption framework and the importance of having your strategy before adopting everything everywhere. I think we can start with we discussed multiple times, but just to mention it again, that the biggest difference of the framework that we crafted and the other frameworks, including the other frameworks which are related to big transformations, big changes like cloud adoption framework, is that we putting a lot of importance on the establishment of AI COE before building your strategy. And in today's session, you will understand a little bit more why this is so important, why the results are would be much better when you have the team. So starting with the first, starting with the main advantages of having the AI COE before start bringing the strategy is actually that your strategy will be driven by experts, right? So experts in everything that is important for you. So you have experts in purely technical perspective, experts in domain experts, experts that understand the current trend, the markets, experts which understand, including the leadership, which understand the overall direction of the companies. So your strategy would be expert driven. It will not be like something put it from the leadership, which is how to say, not very aligned with the realistic situation, which also means that your strategy would be able to have realistic goals, because we've seen a lot with Nikki that leadership really, especially in this FOMO, fear of missing out, the leaderships are, the executives are going in different conferences. Some of the conferences are more conservative, some are more optimistic, and they may see that both options are available. So in the optimistic conference, they may see that this is not, this will not help us at all, okay? And on the optimistic, they may have some pretty optimistic goals which can be achieved at the end. So the AI COE and actually the experts which are in this AI COE would be able to help you to have really realistic goals which are possible to achieve, and actually are which are achievable for your organization, for your specific use case, based on your maturity. We'll go in details. Third, it's actually having the COE will help you with, in general, the alignment of your organizational culture, because this team is representation of your organization at the end, and they know much better than just the top guys. Actually, the level of how to say, the readiness of the organization. Imagine that you get the domain experts and all of these critical members of the AI COE.
Yeah.
They are like examples from each team, and they can provide much better insight, and they can help you with overall alignment with the organization, organizational readiness, organizational culture. We'll have really separate session which explain the entire focus of the same team, together with the leadership, on bringing the organization, improving the culture, make sure that organizational culture are ready for the AI, and the people have enough training roadmaps, etc., etc. But these are really the main advantages of having the AI COE ready for building your strategy, to have this expertise in place before start creating the roadmap of how and what and when and why you're going to achieve in terms of AI.
And we discussed a lot about the COE on the previous call, so if you want to, the previous session. So if you want to go back and watch the recording, we kind of dive deeper into the whole structure, why it's important to have the people that we kind of gather, what groups are necessary at this point to form an AI COE. And
what would be their responsibilities, etc. It's much more details for this. So we have the team, and now it's time to move forward. And of course, we can start now with the definition of our business objectives. If you remember, in first session, we discussed that leadership alignment will include high level, we can say it even high level strategy, so it would be some kind of vision, but it would be more like direction. Let's say it is more like willingness, showing the willingness that the leadership really want to go in that direction and to adopt AI. And the leadership really believe that AI will make the company future proof, to have the advantage in the future, to be competitive in the future, to be relevant to the market in the future. But now is the time to put the things on paper. So you have to create your business objective and to identify your key, as we'd like to say, key pain points, pain points and opportunities. And there's no better way to do that than discussing with the business. So that's why one of the main tasks of having the AI COE is to have discussion with the business, conduct workshops, etc. So there should be prioritization of this impact, actual prioritization of these use cases, of course, based on the impact of the organization. There would be some, as we'd like to say, hanging fruits and things that can be taken care of quickly. So we have one of the job of having of one of the initiatives, important initiatives in this stage, is to identify the potential impacts of and to identify the feasibility of moving in that direction. How realistic are these objectives? Because all of this is really connected with our state. You know, we may see that. Let's say Netflix are adopting AI extremely good. They use AI everywhere. Or for example, maybe if we are in the healthcare business, when we see the Novo Nordisk, I think was these folks was on the if I'm not Microsoft Build example.
On the research.
On the research, no, they were on the research. We can see our healthcare / pharma company can go all in with agents and all of this stuff, but that may not be the case, because it's really important to understand where you are in this journey. And this is again connected with your experts, which you already have in place, because if you're the, let's say, CEO, CTO, CIO, let's say in the majority of companies, they are not very sure what is their current data landscape, how they can, what is actually relevant to them. So again,
and also I want to add that you should not also be blindly following the trends.
Indeed.
Just looking at the news, what's the latest thing, and trying to implement it blindly, because I think with AI we discovered that at least the Gen AI part, getting LLMs introduced into the organization, there is a time that needs to be accounted for. You know, you cannot jump from 0 to 60, as they say, immediately. You have to go through a certain steps in that adoption journey. And when you're picking out the solutions, it's important to figure out, okay, what are the easiest things to implement? What will have the biggest impact on the organization? So you can gather the interest this way. Because if you have not used AI and you want to go directly to, let's say, multi-agent frameworks or things that require much more expertise, they may not be even applicable in some of the cases for the business. They may have a negative effect on the strategy and on the implementation, because at the end of the day, this will not be a successful project. So it's important to have an innovation, but also to go through certain steps in the adoption that are kind of already known and outlined.
So if I can summarize what you said, you know where you want to go.
Yeah.
But the AI experts can help you to draft the path and milestones to go there, and they will make sure that you're not missing any single step in your journey. So that's why another important thing, of course, is to have to define our outcomes, and of course, these outcomes should be measurable outcomes. There's in this part there is no difference comparing to the building strategy for, I would say, for anything, for cloud adoption, whatever we would like to do. We have to have outcomes, and these outcomes should be both qualitative and quantitative. So we should be able to measure them in one or the other way. And again, we're in much better shape because we have the experts to help us to define them based on actually our business objective. Because in order to achieve our business objective, at the end we have to be able somehow to measure what we've done and where we are. Because when we have this roadmap, we have to know if we are navigating in the right direction. Remember, with this roadmap, we discussed multiple times that we are a big fan of what Mitko Vasilev said, that I can see only 2 days. So keep in mind that you have to be very agile. Not agile as the framework at all. Just to be able to switch priorities pretty quickly. To
change
be
direction.
To be able to be adaptive. That's in short. I think.
And don't give up. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I think what I noticed with companies and people that we work with, people get frustrated with this just because a new model comes around and we've spent so much efforts trying to implement a system that was no longer relevant. But at the end of the day, we are in the dawn of the kind of generative AI adoption across all areas. So it's important not to give up. I think that for us, that was the kind of the biggest lesson that we had together is we were persistent up to this point at least.
Yeah.
We're really persistent, and we treat everything as experience that we've gathered. So I think it pays out at the end of the day. So.
And also, it's important to mention that there should be a balance, and each of these initiatives actually are bringing the expertise needed and confidence to the team. So even that you are putting some effort in direction which may become obsolete, that's not a bad thing if it's of course balanced and you're not going crazy like investing too much time in that. But it's really important to get the necessary confidence in this direction. So that's why it's important to have a snapshot of the AI capabilities. When we say snapshot, is to consistently take a snapshot of the AI capabilities, and you may start with the current state, or you can have part of the roadmap. As we said, you'll see later, but you have to review your strategy much more often than comparing with the previous, let's say, adoption, because the things are changing so rapidly. But you really have to have the output of the main AI capabilities. They could be on a higher level, and you can start on a higher level, because on a high level you will not need to change them so frequently, and you can go to the deep, which is how to say, comfortable for you to map your business objectives. So you have to prepare in this kind of let's say mapping between the what you would like to achieve and what technique/technology you may like to use. This may also include, let's say, something that potentially can come in, let's say, 3-6 months or whatever. So that's it is important to have this kind of mapping in order to understand the effort needed, because each of these AI technology will require different effort. right?
Yeah.
So it's one thing to, let's say, to create a company chatbot in Azure where you can do it with few clicks. It's totally different thing to prepare and train custom model, fine tune custom model for your, let's say, manufacturing fabric where you have some devices which you would like to understand how, anyway, to predict a lot of stuff about them, let's say it that way. So this will allow you, of course, to be able to have better understanding what is needed to achieve your business objective. What is needed in terms of effort, in terms of people effort, in terms of resources, in terms of investment, cost, etc. And this would also help you to see if there's potential technology which may solve your current actually which may help you to accomplish your business objective with less effort. So for example, if something is very hard at the moment, we've seen a lot of this. Actually, that's the reason why people saying that OpenAI are the startup killers, and each time when they come with new announcement, there's a lot of startups which are not very happy with this. It's the exact same situation. So it's really important to not only have the current AI snapshot, but to first trying to update these, and also to trying to see where the things are going. As Nikki mentioned, to see the trends in each of these AI technical landscape. Which of these are advancing at one pace? How this advancing? This and the good thing again, imagine how your CIO, CTO, and CEO are making this. Yeah, if the company is OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity, I'm sure that the leadership can measure this very good. But otherwise, most probably, you'll be very happy to have the right team of experts doing that. Or if not,
although since we've touched on this one, taken on the first session that with the leadership alignment, that we are seeing more CEOs and leadership staff actually being interested a lot in AI, and they're trying to give a better direction, and they're trying to keep up. I'm not saying this is valid for everybody, but a lot more, let's say, compared to when we were doing cloud or other kind of adoptions.
Absolutely, there is no.
For AI, it's much more intrusive.
Indeed. At the end, I think AI is totally different than the cloud adoption, because at the end you can continue work and be competitive without the cloud, and you can't without the AI. It doesn't matter in which industry you are, because at the end there's even a trend right now that in the on-prem, if you have the right expertise, you're extremely efficient. But without the AI, there's no chance of this. And we're very happy that I would say this 2024 was the year when actually the leadership of large organizations start realizing this, because previously they treated pretty similarly to the other transformations, to the, as you said, to the cloud, that this is just another thing that I have to take care of, let's say that way. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of workshops and sessions of organizations, helping the non-IT people to jump into AI, to help leaders to jump into AI, and definitely the trend is good, and the leadership they're seeing the value in that. So once we have this mapping, as we mentioned, it's really easy to start making some kind of calculation, and of course it's always important to understand what it takes to complete something. This is both you can treat it for both from talent perspective and from resource allocation. Because for each of these, so once we have this mapping, we would be able to understand what experts will need to accomplish this, and actually what kind of investment we'll need for that, because of course, as each at the end, these are some technologies that we have to utilize in some extent. So once we have the right people, we have to understand and to decide what is the best way to use this technology. Shall we go using, let's say, code source models directly through APIs, or we should go to invest some money in buying hardware where you can run our local models for the important and sensitive data that we would not want to share with the cloud. Of course, it's important also to understand not only from, let's say, financial perspective, but purely talking about the resources, the other important resource apart from people and actually technologies. It's important to know what kind of data we have and what is the current state of our data, what kind of data sources we have, how good is our data. You know, this is something which we touch in our sessions with new open source models, but what we see and is that actually the data quality is extremely important, even that you can have much smaller model. That's the reason why we have smaller models which are very competitive, because they've been trained in high quality data synthesized from the bigger model, right?
Yeah.
So that's again I can put some connections back, but if we don't have let's say well organized data, if our data is how to say, just a scan PDFs of handwritten text, etc., it will require much more effort comparing if we have everything putting in the let's say relational databases, right? So it's and that's the important thing of taking in consideration with when you're building the strategy and creating your path to accomplish your objectives. So this also in this, let's say, step is also important. What would be the effort needed in order to drive this organizational changes from culture and / training perspective, because so having the, let's say, the people, technology, data, it's important also to have some organizational changes plan. We discussed in our first session that you have this initial communication plan, which of course is like the foundation. So you have to plan what kind of investment would be needed in order to make this adoption more, how to say, more smoothly in the organization, if we can say it that way. So yeah, that's the important steps in this phase, and I think the main thing which we are missing in the mix is actually the risk assessment. So each strategy should have some kind of risk assessment and potential mitigation of each of these risks. So we have to, I mean, the risk can be combined on different, how to say, domains, whatever suits you. But in general, you can have like technical risk, talking with AI. We know that we may have the ethical, regulatory risk, we may have operational and reputational risk if something bad happens. So for example, we create some AI chatbots in our website which goes crazy with our clients, That's most probably is not a
Or you create
yeah.
text that you put in formal documents or without actually a process to validate the
Indeed.
content.
Yep.
Especially for data-driven organizations, where one of the key optimizations would be time spent on generating drafts and text in general.
This can impact also the compliance part
Yeah.
as well. So
I mean,
it's,
people, once people realize the kind of the power that this has, they will be tempted to use it for many different things that they've done manually before, and this is where the risk really kind of shows up, and
yeah.
you have to have policies, procedures, instructions back to people how to use these tools that are provided back, what kind of validation needs to take place before you hand out information that was strictly generated just by models or LLMs. I mean, technically, it could be images. I don't know. It can be so many different.
Absolutely.
We're talking about AI, but we're mostly focusing on Gen AI in the framework, because this is kind of the most used part of deep learning and artificial intelligence right now.
It could be even, for example, talking for operational risk, it could be even some resistance in the organization of people don't want to use the AI tools. So it's important to identify these risks and to have some kind of mitigation strategy for them, mitigation to plan how you can mitigate this, let's say, and let's say be prepared. For example, as Nikki mentioned, for this example of let's say technical, which can impact compliance and reputation and all of this stuff, you have to think about implementing some kind of monitoring validation process tool system. For the operational risks, you may think of let's say comprehensive communication plan, change management strategy. This could be like for each of these risks that you identify, based on the, let's say, probability and impact that you will identify, you can spend different effort in order to prepare the potential mitigation techniques. And also part of this, how to say, initiative may provide you some insights on directions that you may miss in the overall strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, as we said, you're in good position because you already have a team of experts from multiple domains that can highlight risks from related to their specific domain.
Yeah.
So, and usually, as we said, you have the how to say, you have example of your entire organization in people representing your entire organization in small team. So once you have how to say, you are, let's say, at some kind of you're prepared to some extent. So you have some the key components, key ingredients for your dish. Now it's time to start preparing. So as a first step, of course, this is the, let's say, how to say, one of the, I would say, our pleasant part. You're starting to have the workshops and communication, collaboration with the teams within the organization. So you're starting to understanding their use cases, to dive deeper and to their problems, to their point of view, how the things can be resolved, and this part is of course easier when you have people to do that, right? And remember that we discussed with this initial communication plan, we discussed that in the first in the leadership alignment part, you have this communication plan, and you can even on that plan, on that step, you can start providing some let's say tools for people to explore. So when is the time to go with these people and to talk with these people? You have much bigger chances now, these people, to have the opportunity to try something and to already have some ideas to share with you. So and of course, when they have some ideas to share, this will definitely impact your how to say, your approach and your vision of the AI, your AI journey.
Yeah.
And
It's gathering all of that information before, I mean, all of the steps for preparation, but actually starting to formulate the full plan, in my experience, takes a while because it has to be confirmed with so many people. At least in a bigger organization, you have to go to so many people to ask, because, like we said, this is not the cloud. This is not strictly an IT decision to make. This is a very overreaching project, and because you want this to be overreaching, you want this will have the maximum impact and and cost reduction or whatever the reason why you're implementing the technology. But yes, it takes a bunch of iterations and steps to go through, and right now, at least, there, like we said before, there are at least experts that went through this path before, and they can show you some of the pitfalls and the issues that were found. I mean, like 2 years back, a lot of this was very new to everybody. People had to make mistakes in their strategy, and now we can actually feed from these mistakes, and we can have much better strategies created. So, yeah. But it takes a while, yeah.
Indeed, and however, the important, so to have the connection back with what we discussed previously, and remember that we discussed that we have this mapping between our business objective with AI current technologies, with the potential AI technologies. We know in high level what it will take, what is solvable, how many effort and resources would be needed for that. And when we grab the use cases from each specific, let's say, team, because this is, I would say, bidirectional iteration, because based on the objectives, we can look for a case which may help us to accomplish specific objectives, but also we can, we'll add these use cases to each specific objective. And we may measure how this solving these use cases will impact and help with the accomplishment of this objective. This may help us also to validate if our plan for effort and resource allocation is it can help to improve our calculations. So at the end, what we're trying to say is that at the end we will have decision based on the data. So our decisions for crafting the AI strategy would be based on the output of workshops with people, with their problem. It would be part of our real calculation. It would be based on our current situation, what is possible, what's not, what effort is needed, our current capabilities, let's say, and option for investment at all. So at the end we will have really data-driven decision making for our strategy. So it will be much more connected with the real situation, comparing to if we would like to go to let's say this very nice new technology which I think will help me. Yeah, but of course this is important step. And remember, we discussed in the beginning that this is iterative approach. So we are drafting something, start working on something, but we review
We
it.
scrape it, we start again.
We start again. We have some kind of balance because it's important. Remember that we discussed that also the people within the AICUE, they should also have goals, right? That they have to achieve as AICUE, and we don't want, nobody wants to have people who are just playing with something and they can deliver. We like postmans because they can deliver. So, yeah, and one talking about the organizational alignment, because this is the as we discussed, it's critical part of our strategy. Is something that we discussed, I don't know a lot. It's the importance of leadership and stakeholder buy-in. So when we are at the phase where we are going to talk with people, following this structured approach, we already have communication plan in the first stage. We already, which shows that clear willingness of the leadership and that the company will go in that direction, no matter what. So the organization have to adapt with this. We have the potentially the tooling that is possible to be used, let's say on a high level, not it may not be detailed, but we have some, let's say, high level vision what things can be used. We are not saying just nothing can be used, everything is blocked.
Yeah.
And it's much easy to achieve the individuals buy-in, and they are willing to help us to provide us with meaningful use cases, with things that to be open to share what can help to improve their efficiency at the end. Because what we would like to achieve at the end is to improve our company efficiency in one way or another, to bring new product, to make people more engaged, willing to do, to be able to do more stuff, etc., etc. So having all of this before will help us much easier to achieve the stakeholder buy-in. And being able to address this potential risk that we discussed of resistance of change, etc. However, it's important to have the change management. That's why, as you know, we have this entire stage starting from the beginning for cultural and organizational development.
We have change managers in the COE as well as part of the staff.
Yep. Or again, it's change management is important part, and this should be addressed appropriately in the strategy. So you should have pretty clear communication plan, training program, what kind of how the processes may be impacted. Let's say you may even think about upgrading changing your performance management systems, the way of evaluating people. But I think we will, as the change management in this situation, it's really, I would say 90% with the cultural changes. So that's why we'll have a separate session, and that's why we have it on the roadmap. Separate session focus entirely on this. And if you remember this starting earlier before the strategy, so you already have some, we should already have some insight. And this is one of the main responsibility of the AICUE, of helping with proper communication plan and training roadmap, and because having the training roadmap, there's already some frameworks that can be used. You have you may create a position mapping, for example, people which are working right now in, let's say, DevOps, they may be reskilled to MLOps, where they can create some data pipelines, or if our current situation with the data is not suitable for what we would like to achieve, we may, let's say, retrain our database guys to become a big data guys. So this is something which is important to have in the strategy, and yeah, that's. But as we said, we will address this in a separate session. As it is for us, it's
Reskilling is so key.
it's so key. Reskilling and in general cultural development are initiatives which are they should be part of the strategy. But as I said, we decided to put them aside in order to how to say to make sure that they have enough importance to show them the importance and because this is a larger project, you know, the strategy. Okay, you have the iteration, but for the reskilling and cultural shift, this is start from the beginning, and
I think we've built up a lot of experience specifically on that front over the last couple of years. I mean, even beyond that, when it was strictly just kind of cloud and other implementations, but this one is different. It feels different when you're talking to people. You can see, you can still see a lot of people who just don't feel that this is actually something that will materialize as a tool or something they will be doing. It's even a year from the kind of the real explosion. I'm still sensing the same thing. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest, but at least there is progress. There are a lot more people who are investing more time. They're asking for access, but in my mind, I think this will take years for people to actually realize what's happening, and we don't know what's going to happen in the meantime. That's why the whole initiative that we're building here with the adoption framework is to actually do this as soon as possible, because it may be late at some point.
Yeah, indeed. I completely agree on that.
Yeah.
But so today we tried to be a little bit shorter, but on a high level, these are the main steps and let's say moving parts that you should think about when preparing your strategy. If you can remember one thing is from this session is that having the expertise helping you to draft it would be much easier than drafting this by yourself. That's we think is the most important outcome of this session and also the previous one. So next session we plan to do of course once we have the strategy, there should be a plan for the strategy execution, and next session we will try to do it next month, at the end of next month, because as we said it is summer, but we'll keep accelerating. So hope you like our session, and please let us know if you'd like
subscribe to the channel.
You know,
please.
The regular stuff, thumbs up, subscribe.
So we know it's worth it's worth what we're doing, you know.
But if please let us know any feedback which we can make our session more helpful. Have a wonderful summer, and talk to you in a month or so.
Thank you, everyone.
Super.